Yo, this is Dorky Diggity Dave, and today I'm here with my main man, John. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited to talk about some more characters with you.
Yeah, man. And well, today we have Storm Pyramid X. And Storm Pyramid X is coming from the Battle World. That's pretty crazy. This is a very different Storm.
I'm super excited. Yeah, she's a member of Pyramid X, follower of Apocalypse.
Apocalypse?
Oh, yeah. And she's looking crazy cool. Super cool animations. Totally new look on Storm for us here.
Absolutely. And that's a big shout out to the animation team. I really love shouting them out. And this Storm Pyramid X is a pretty hard-hitting cold snap immune with frostbites. She also is shock, not completely shock immune, but just doesn't take damage from shock. Kind of like Corvus with the bleeds. Now, I felt like she was doing a lot of big yellow numbers, big white numbers, big red numbers. There was all kind of different colors going on there, and she felt very on the offensive side.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely a killer attacker. She does a ton of damage. She's got a bunch of bonuses with Prowess, but with her Ice Tempest, she actually has some great defensive utility. She has a 60% chance to glance hits. That means no crits, no abilities are gonna proc, and it's less damage. So she ends up being almost a bit of a tank.
Wow, okay. Well, why don't we get a little more into that in the abilities? Alright, so she has a pretty interesting signature ability here. Now, while she's below 30% health, she's activating both Tempests. Can you tell me a little bit more about these Tempests?
Yeah, for sure. So Storm has two Tempests. She's got her Ice Tempest and her Lightning Tempest. Different abilities from either while they're active, and you get some bonuses if you have both active as well. Her Ice Tempest is going to be her main defense one, and going to give her a lot more tankiness. That's where her glancing comes from. And her Lightning Tempest is going to give her a chance to stun the opponent for each prowess she has, as well as some more damage on her SP2.
So tell me a little bit more about this glancing, because that sounds pretty interesting as a defensive ability.
Yeah, it's awesome. You take 50% less damage whenever you glance, 100% ability accuracy reduction, and no crits. So that means running Corvus against her, every time Corvus hits her, 60% chance for him not to crit. And he'll take one of his glaive charges, and no crits, he's just straight negative for him. Anyone that really relies on crits, or even applying debuffs, won't work with glancing as well.
Well, you took some of that complicated information and really gave it to us at a glance. Let's talk about her passives, because I think she has some pretty interesting ones. One of the main ones is her basic attacks are energy damage, and it looks like you're starting really to add more of these types of champions to the ranks, because we did have some with like Doc Strange and Sim Supreme and Magneto. And these are really, really helpful for things like, Korg. And I know you have some other uses.
So having the energy hits, your base hits, is awesome. Like you said, it's going to help you also deal with the Psychic Thorns path in Alliance War. Always need more counters for that. Really useful. It's also a really great point for us to use in the future, where let's say you have to fight a character that has really high physical resist. You don't care. You're doing energy damage.
Nice. And well, speaking of energy resist, she does have a pretty fair amount. It's at 565, she's running 1400, which isn't the highest, but this kind of thing helps with, let's say, like Limbo with magic. You don't take as much damage as other people.
Yeah, it'll also help recently released Terex. All of his rock field is all energy damage. A lot of damage reflection is energy damage. Incinerates do energy damage as well. She will ignore some of that. And not a lot of characters have energy resistance in their kit, so it's super valuable to have it.
This is probably one of my favorite things about her, is that if someone purifies a stun, she just reapplies it, but as a passive, so they just can't get around it. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's awesome. If you're struggling with Mole Man, you're having a hard time against Kingpin, Agent Venom, any of those guys, she's gonna be awesome for those fights. It's actually a better stun than what your parry would be in the first place, and then you can just go to town on them.
So tell me a little bit more about these Tempests, because that is her pre-fight ability, and you get the opportunity to choose which one you want to start with. But let's start with the Ice Tempest, since that is the default.
Yeah, so Ice Tempest is going to be your default. It's what you're going to see as a defender, and it is her defensive Tempest. So this is going to give her glancing, and that's going to lower the crits coming in, like I had mentioned previously. It's also going to give her cold snap and frostbite immunity, and it's also going to empower her SP1. And then her next Tempest, she's got Lightning Tempest. So this is her offensive Tempest. This is the one where when you want those big numbers, you want to do tons of damage, you want to be in that Lightning Tempest. It's going to give her a bunch of bonus damage on her SP2. It's going to make the opponent get less power on her SP2. And then it also has a bonus effect. For each prowess that Storm currently has, she has a chance to stun the opponent on hit. And if they shrug that stun off, it's going to work with her other ability and turn it into a passive stun.
So on this Ice Tempest, having that glance ability on there, isn't this like really bad for people like, you know, Doom, who can't get a critical attack, and he also has negative 100% ability accuracy on that strike, so he's not going to be getting like a lot of shocks going on there.
Yeah, it's actually going to be better for Doom than even on that. If his SP3 glances, he's not going to get the passive stun. If his light attacks glance while he's in his aura, he's not going to get any of the power drain. Any abilities that fire when you hit the opponent, when your hit connects with them, there's a chance for it to fail.
And at the beginning of the match, when you get to choose which one of the Tempests you want, that becomes the new normal. So as you continue fighting, you're not constantly taking it away from the default of Ice Tempest and trying to switch. If you switch to Lightning, that just stays there.
Yeah, it's the first pre-fight we've done this with. Stealth Spider-Man has a similar mechanic where he defaults to his damage one, but this time the pick that you take in the first fight of the quest or any fight of the quest will be the same for the rest of the quest unless you decide to change it.
I want to talk about Prowess and how that's affected by her different Tempests.
Yeah, Storm is all about getting special attack damage, so you want to try and get as many of those prowesses as you can. For each Tempest you have active, you get one prowess when either player or opponent fills a bar of power. So if you have both Tempests active, you'll get 2 prowess for each bar of power.
Okay, so the prowesses are pretty interesting because you can gain 3 indefinitely, and then they stay pretty much permanent until you use a special. But you can go all the way up to 12, and they have a 10-second timer on them before you end up back to 3. It raises a lot of damage, dude. Like, what are we talking about here?
Oh yeah, you get almost 500% increased special damage, 480% just off of those prowess buffs that you're gaining. If Storm Pyramid X has more than 6 prowess active on her, and this is prowess, not just prowess buffs, if she has more than 6 prowess active on her, she gains an unblockable at the start of her special attack.
Now, that is one of my favorites, but probably my even more favorite is the heavy attack integration. Bring it home, man.
I love characters that encourage you to cancel your heavy attack into a special. So Storm Pyramid X, she has another prowess in her kit. The longer she charges her heavy attack, she gains a prowess that will scale up to 100%. So it's 100% on top of that 480 she gets from the other ones. That's almost 600%, 580% special damage increase. So if you charge up that heavy attack and you've got 6 prowess, you can stun the opponent, sit there, charge it up, get to 100% damage, and just toss a huge unblockable special.
Alright, so all this talk about specials, why don't we talk about the actual specials and get into those? Alright, special 1 here on the docket. John, take it away.
Yeah, so this is going to be her main defensive special. It's going to be getting a lot of bonuses from her Ice Tempest. If you're not careful, it's definitely going to be giving you chills.
Ooh.
During the special 1, if you could time it right, you get a slow for the entire duration of the special attack. So if you're fighting something like Toggle Unstoppable, or anything that's like, say, Nightcrawler throws his SP1, and you have an Unstoppable or a evade effect active during that special attack, you'll get slow and you'll cancel it out. And then on top of that, as a bonus, if she has her Ice Tempest active, she gets a extra prowess for each hit of the attack, and at the end she's going to toss a big old cold snap on him. If you don't have the Ice Tempest, you only get the slow.
Oh, that's cold, man. Alright, the special 2, now this one is for the Lightning Tempest, so it basically inflicts shock damage over time, over 9 seconds. But there's also a nice little neat trick in there if it's purified. Tell me about it.
If shock is purified, it's actually going to just do all the damage it would do before instantly. So it's almost worse for you if you shrug it off. If you get clipped by it as an attacker, you're not going to get any willpower from it, and you're just going to instantly take a huge amount of damage.
Now, there's also some extra bonuses on the Lightning Tempest, and personally, I think they're quite shocking.
They certainly are. if you've got the Lightning Tempest active, you're going to make the shock damage even stronger, as well as each prowess you have is going to lower the opponent's defensive power rate by 25%. So if you have at least 4 prowess, you're actually going to make the opponent take 0 power.
Now, the SP3, or the Special 3, this one is a pretty special one because we were talking about her getting both Tempest if she was knocked down, but that really happens mostly on a defensive, or if you happen to make a mistake, you know, not dexing or something like that. But the SP3 seems to give her both. Tell me a little bit more about this.
Yeah, so Storm Pyramid X is going to activate whichever Tempest she doesn't have on at the start of the fight with her SP3. It's going to last a pretty long time, and then if she does the SP3 again while they're both on, she's actually going to get a ton of bonus damage for that SP3 as well.
Now, I gotta tell you, at the end of this, I know we always talk about big yellow numbers, but this is big white numbers right here. I'm talking 6 figures, dude.
Oh, it's crazy. You get all those extra prowess in there too, which is going to do even more damage on the SP3. If you're quick enough, get to those 2 Tempests active during the SP3. Like, you got like 10 prowess up, you got your heavy prowess. It's huge damage.
Agreed. And it's a beautiful thing. Alright, champion rotation here. Now, this is, what attack style do you like to do with this champion, John?
Yeah, so it's really circumstantial for me on what I'm doing. I've got that decision point when I get into the fight. Do I need that bonus damage with my SP1? Do I think I'm going to take some hits here and I want to go in and use my Ice Tempest? If not, I'm always riding the Lightning Tempest. It's just so much extra damage. You get that chance to stun. If I'm in a short fight and just doing some questing, a lot of the time what I like to do is I just build up as many prowess as I can, dump that SP2, get out of that fight as quick as I can. It's so much damage on there. You land some crits in there, it's just gonna rinse the fight. If you're in some longer fights, trying her out in Realm of Legends, trying her out in Abyss maybe, I like to go and rush to an SP3, have as many prowess as I can for the SP3. It's free damage, might as well. And then once I've got that SP3, again, build as many prowess as I can, charge that heavy, and dump a huge SP2 on the opponent. One thing to know about that too is you don't have to hit the heavy attack. All you have to do is charge it. And It's just, she's sitting there, she's powering herself up, she's getting ready to go, and just boom, huge special damage.
Okay, so Storm here has a pretty great set of synergies. Now, we can't go through all of them, but we would like to know what you guys think is your favorite. But let's go through our favorites here. I'll let you start, John.
Sure. Probably my favorite is the Bishop synergy she has. So this is going to make all of her prowesses 4 seconds longer. It's going to make it way easier to get those big stacks of prowess and massive numbers.
Nice. Yeah, I'm actually in with the Storm one because Storm, once she builds up those 2 Tempests, adds an extra 8 seconds. So if you're having trouble getting back to that SP3 because they're expiring, this just gives you extra time to do more damage, get back to the SP3, or just do more damage with your SP1 and SP2. That's pretty game changing for me.
Oh, it's awesome. It's a great synergy. I think there's one other synergy I really recommend people go for is it works with the OG Storm as well, is you bring Captain America Infinity War, and she's going to be sitting on a passive prowess all fight, and that's actually going to count for all of her other abilities.
Oh, wait, you're bringing in synergies that's not listed here. I can play that game too, man.
No, hey.
That's fine. She has energy damage. You can bring in the Mastermind synergy with Loki and Magneto, and I know people don't want to bring those two, but there's other ones that have energy damage as well. And once you pass 15 hits on a combo, they're doing extra damage per hit, so that hits her basics and her specials.
That's pretty good. That's some good damage right there. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, agreed. Well, look, I think we've hyped her up enough, and so I think we should just enjoy the calm before the storm. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for coming by and watching another deep dive on our champions, and thanks to my main man John for joining us here and giving us all this information about Storm Pyramid X.
Anytime. I'm glad to come out, man. I enjoy it.
I enjoy it too, man. So I will catch y'all on the next one. Remember, click like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And remember, stay dorky, and I'll catch y'all on the flip. Oh,
Potamus.